Hey, we're back with the Lean Switch. In this video, I'm going to tell you something really awesome. It's going to be how to get perfect food portions every time so that you don't gain weight, so that you feel satisfied after every meal, and so you don't feel just deprived, like you're on a diet trying to lose weight. So I'm going to talk about portion distortion. Now, alright, your brain's a weird thing, right? The way that you register how full you are is in part due to your stomach stretch receptors, is a minimal part in terms of what nutrients you eat, like fat, protein, carbohydrates. But the biggest thing that gives you feedback is going to be your memory and your eyesight, right? Because you could immediately see that your stretch receptors take time, chemical sensors are not as accurate, your food has to get broken down. It happens usually further in the intestines, actually. But with your eyesight and with your memory, you can make a more lasting impression and control the flow, the regulation of those hunger hormones from your brain. So there's actually one study showed that in people who had memory impairment, right, that they had no short-term memory, researchers brought them out bowls of food. They gave them one bowl of food. 20 minutes later, they gave them a second bowl of food after resetting, and it took them halfway through the third bowl of food that the people were stuffed. Because they didn't remember eating the first, second times, they actually overate by, 1.5 servings, like big servings. Imagine that you accidentally eat 2 breakfasts or 2 lunch, 2.5 dinners, just because you didn't remember. That's why it's such a big part of it. Now, in terms of portion sizes, we do have these natural abilities to be satisfied with the food we see on our plate. Now, I talked a little bit about that popcorn study before with stale popcorn, where basically they were given large and small containers of really stale popcorn and still ate a lot of it. Now, going further into this study, the researchers found that out of the larger container, people ate more. So what happens is that it's an optical illusion. When you see a bigger container, eating just a little bit from it or putting more food on it, you can't really tell how much food you're getting. So let's say you have a 16-inch plate, which is pretty big, or an 8-inch, like a dessert plate, and you're trying to portion out your food on it. Now, if you put a cup of quinoa or 3/4 of a cup of quinoa onto a large plate, it's going to look small. So if you're not really measuring it, if you're just going from the seat of your pants trying to get portions, trying to make it look good, you're going to end up putting more quinoa onto that plate. Even if you measure it out, you're going to see that small amount of quinoa and that large amount of empty space and feel deprived psychologically because it doesn't feel like you're getting a lot of food. So using smaller plates is a great tip to fight portion distortion. Also, using narrower, skinny cups helps you do that in terms of liquids. And there are just some types of food people naturally overeat. So, for example, things like wedge-shaped foods, pizza, cakes, you'll actually overeat on a wedge-shaped slice of pizza compared to a square-shaped slice of pizza just from the shape. Also, in terms of plating, color is important. So usually the more colorful, the more impactful, the more beautiful, the more satisfying you'll find the meal because it's more memorable, because you'll see it takes up more space and it's just more engaging and interesting. So that's a great way to fight portion distortion. Now, a little bit advanced, you can use your hands to determine your macronutrients, right? So you don't have to whip out the calculator, you don't have to do all that. Using your hands actually scales it to your size and to your body, and it will help you get the results you want. So for women specifically, you can focus on having a palm-sized serving of protein, like the same thickness too, which is like, could be beans, legumes, tofu, or sources of meat, pork, lamb, beef, tuna, oysters, whatever source of protein-rich foods you like. A scooped handful of carbohydrates. So again, that's like quinoa, oats, potatoes, beets, even long list, sweet potatoes, millet, rye, amaranth, rice, things like that. Size of a fist of vegetables. So definitely green vegetables are going to be rock stars. Kale, Swiss chard, mustard greens, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, green beans, those kind of things. Or any kind of colorful vegetables. You don't discriminate. Onions, more than onions, garlic, red peppers, carrots, really cucumbers, of course. Really anything out there. And then last but not least, you want to have about a thumb size of fat-rich foods. So that could be nuts, fatty cheeses. You can include oils in there, things like that. That avocado, things that are rich in fat. And so when you follow that size, it's a little bit more specific, but it's really easy to gauge portion sizes so that you're getting a good balance of nutrients that are very satisfying and are actually tailored to your body. For men, since men are going to be bigger, recommend doubling those sizes. So 2 scooped handfuls, 2 thumbs, 2 palms, and then 2 fists of veggies. So that's going to help you out. Then just have, in the last video, we'll put a finer point on it and talk about the secret that really allows you to eat whatever you want and still lose weight. So in this video, we've mastered portion distortion by telling you how to stop letting your environment force you to overeat, foods that are so easy to overeat on, how to get over that, and even how to balance your nutrients without weighing food, without measuring food, to be simply lean. Flip that lean switch. See you in the next video.